I get it. I'm gonna try to run down Wladimir Klitschko. Right now, Wladimir Klitschko is the heavyweight champion of the world. The IBO, the WBO, the WBA, and the IBF heavyweight champion. 62-3 with 52 knockouts. He hasn't lost in 20 fights. He hasn't lost since April of 2004. So, when you think of the names like the Samuel Peters, the David Hayes, the Alexander Povetkin, the Tony Thompsons, the Eddie Chambers, the Chris Birds, people say, well, he wouldn't survive against the other guys. And, these opponents these days, these heavyweights, they ain't really shit. Now, let's move forward a little bit and let's look at what the possibilities are if he gets past Kubrat Pulev. And I'm going to say Pulev is 20-0 with 11 knockouts. But listen to me, he's got something that those other fighters have not had. Those other 20 opponents have not had. David Hayes could have, but it was the toe. So, to talk about Pulev, listen, he's got bounce in the step. He keeps his hands high, and he'll sit there and trade with you. His hands are fast. So, you got a fighter. What is he, about 6'4"? He's sitting there, head movement is, bouncing back and forth, and then he's got the bounce in the step. If he doesn't allow Wladimir Klitschko to hold him and put his weight on him, and Klitschko to hit him with the jab, in the straight, and then, grab him and lean on his back, Pulev is good. He's got to use the uppercut, and he's not known. He doesn't go to the body. He's a straight head hunter. But see, he's good because he's tall, and he doesn't fight with his hands down at his waist. Like, for example, a guy like Bermane Stiverne would get beat by Wladimir Klitschko, to me, is because a punch that you need against a Klitschko is somewhat of a jab. Bermane Stiverne's jab is always at his side, so he's got to bring it all the way up, and then you're fighting a taller fighter, 6'6", and Wladimir Klitschko, too much. You already got jabbed at that point in time yourself. So, as far as Wladimir Klitschko ranking in the heavyweight division, let's say if he gets past Pulev, and I'm going to talk more about Pulev in a minute. Let's say if he gets past him, he's got a fight with Brian Jennings. Remember, Brian Jennings is the #1 contender for, I believe, one of those. I don't know if it's the IBF or IBO or WBA. I don't know. You got Tyson Fury and Derek Chisora. They're fighting in November. This fight with Pulev is on September the 6th, by the way. You got Derek Chisora versus Tyson Fury in November in a rematch. That's for the #1 contender for the WBO, if I'm correct. You got Deontay Wilder versus Bermane Stiverne. Bermane Stiverne beat Chris Arreola for that vacant, hunted Vitaly Klitschko belt because he went to retire and go into politics, but it's not known if he's going to stay retired, full time. So you got Wladimir Klitschko, who basically wants his brother's belt back in the family, that glorious WBC belt, which is the heavyweight belt, the one that the Muhammad Ali's and all those guys had. So, when I matched Wladimir Klitschko up against the heavyweights, okay, let me run it down to you. Here's the fighters I think will give Wladimir Klitschko problems. Deontay Wilder, I got to see Deontay Wilder knock out a credible opponent. He's got a bum rush through Bermane Stiverne. Simple as that, just like he did the other 31 and guys. And then also, we got to see how he does going into the distance if he can't knock you out in the 4th round. So maybe a Deontay Wilder, a Tyson Fury, because he's got the height and he's got the foot movement for him to be so tall, and he's got the punch variety. Who else? Maybe a Brian Jennings, but Brian Jennings takes too many gambles, and sitting there and allowing Klitschko to tee off on you, a very smart and accurate puncher, then there's a good chance you're going to get knocked out. Let me see. Anthony Joshua, but he's still a prospect. I'm not going to say Andy Ruiz because he's just, the weight thing. He's got very fast hands, but the weight thing, he's going to be a stationary target. And that's just a name, just a few heavyweights that I think would give Wladimir Klitschko some problems and maybe can beat him now or in the future. So when it comes to Pulev, right now, he's the one that's up at the plate. And when you look at his credible competition, he went through the motions, fighting the overseas fighters, the Matt Skeltons, the Michael Sprats, Alexander Ustinov. That was in my opinion, that was his most credible fight. Tony Thompson. The Alexander Ustinov is actually pretty good. He's the guy Tyson Fury was supposed to fight after Derek Chisora pulled out in a rematch. If you don't understand, I know it's a whole lot of names I'm throwing at you, but if you're a boxing fan, you got to start getting yourself familiar with these names. So I'll take this time because I'm thirsty and I'm talking real fast. This is T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. And my controversial mug. But, you know, I look at it like this. The heavyweight division is finally starting to get good because you have finally a crop of heavyweights that can give Wladimir Klitschko a chance, and also they can fight each other and have, you know, good storylines with them. For example, the Brian Jennings versus Mike Perez heavyweight fight, that was good. The Brian Jennings versus Arthur Szpilka fight, fight was good. The Artur Szpilka, the Chris Arreola versus Bermane Stiverne, the press conference alone, the final press conference alone sold the fight to me. That fight was good. You know, you got Tyson Fury versus it was supposed to be David Haye, you know, twice. You know, you got Derek Chisora too. That's going to be a good fight. So the heavyweight division, you know, you got Wladimir Klitschko, and he's been always known, like I said, he's hasn't lost in 20 fights, 20 or 21 fights. That was in 2004. He fights all his mandatories. He doesn't duck anyone. And as far as all the names that have been thrown at them, he has fought them all. So you can't say he's a heavyweight that doesn't fight the guys and everything. It's just that a lot of these guys have been getting their careers together to get ready for him. You know, guys like Deontay Wilder, of course fans would want to see that. But Deontay Wilder knows, and his handlers knows, like, hold up, wait. We got to make sure you cool first. I know that's your homie, you know, but when you get into the ring with him, he's going to probably knock you the fuck out. You got to be cool. Al Heyman's smart. You know, that's Al Heyman's #1 heavyweight prospect. You know, I don't even think he wants to go once he gets that WBC belt. He's not going to go immediately after Wladimir Klitschko, and that money's going to be big. You know, Wladimir Klitschko and Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Right now, I can say I'm trying to think who else. I'm talking about the headliners, the guys who sells the events. They're the highest paid boxers right now. You know, Wladimir Klitschko. Even if not the United States, if you go overseas, you go into Germany and all those places he fights, wherever he fights, anywhere outside of America is going to sell out. You know, and I'm not saying, you know, in Africa or nothing like that. But the point I'm trying to make is all over there in Asia, Europe, all over there, you know, he can sell out arenas. Simple as that. So it's a big event. You know, and you get the people that come out in the suits and, you know, like, you know, the heavy gamblers. But I look at it like this. Kubrat Pulev, he's got something different than a lot of other heavyweights that have fought Wladimir Klitschko doesn't have or has not had. He's got a certain confidence when you watch him fight. I'm gonna post some fights of his on my Facebook page. And it's right down below. The links are right below. Also, you know, people said, T Street, when you're gonna get a website and all kind of stuff like that. Right there at the top. Boxing, mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu. You want the media calls. You want to know about, you know, like the fighters are right there. There's interviews. There's everything right there. So listen, stop asking me the dumb questions. And that's why I put those links right there below for you to click on and stuff. So as far as me getting to the events and all that, I just got a new channel popping off in like 2 weeks. This was a lot of work. So moving on, when you got a guy like Pulev, he's got a bounce to his step. He's got, in America, in the hip-hop community, they call it swag. You know, like he's got his hands up, you know, he's looking at you. And the thing is, you don't see, I don't see when he sees a Wladimir Klitschko that he has a fear in his eye. I don't see, like I really see a person who feels and looks like he can win. And he's got and the biggest thing to me is the high hands. He keeps his hands high. And he's got the jab and he knows how to get in it. But the only thing is the defense. You know, Alexander Ustinov did catch him with a crazy punch, but the defense is not there. But he keeps his hands high. And now I'm trying to figure out what fighter to compare him to. I'm thinking too much. But anyway, I cover every single Wladimir Klitschko fight. I'm going to be covering every single Kubrat Pulev fight, win or loss. I cover every single major fight live. Heavyweights, lightweights, bantamweights, flyweights. They're coming too. T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live.